Hey everybody, welcome to the Punk Rock Drummers podcast. Season 2, episode 9. I can't believe it. Today's guest is the drummer of Millincolin, Fredrik Larzon. Um, you may notice that my lovely co-host is not with me today. He called me yesterday and said that his voice was going out. He can't speak. So he told me to do this alone. And you know that scene in Wayne's World where Wayne and Garth get in a fight and Wayne leaves the studio. I think it's in Wayne's World too. And then Garth is just like, I'm having a good time. Not.
I'm having a good time. Not.
Did you ever see that scene in Scanners when that dude's head blew up?
That's how I feel right now. I'm not used to doing this without him. So, but we've got a really good one. Frederick was very nice, nice enough to adjust his schedule. There's a 7 hour difference between us and him. He's in Sweden. And I had met him when my band Firecell played in Belgium last August. And they headlined the entire show. We played like second or third. But anyway, we met and we kept talking, became friends, and yeah, it's been really great. So it was only natural to get him on the podcast. Um, so yes, thank you, Frederick. You'll hear him talk later. A very interesting guy and sweet. And I've been a fan of Millencolin since I was in high school. A big fan of his in my drumming journey as well. So, one thing I wanted to announce is SJC Drums, who is our wonderful sponsor. They are turning 25 years old this year, and they wrote an email asking if we could talk about a giveaway, a dream drum giveaway that they're doing. It is part of a celebration. Let's see, where someone will win a limited edition 25th anniversary Tangerine Sparkle Kit. Let's see, plus 25 play snare along with a Zildjian cymbal pack, Gibraltar hardware pack, and Evans drum heads. So you don't want to miss that opportunity. I'll put a link in the podcast description and everything, and on YouTube, so you can click on it and enter to win all of that from SJC. We also are starting a new thing where we are going to feature a band at the end of the interview. So the first band, and I hope I say this right, first band is Bamberdost, Bamberdost. It's German. Um, the song is called "Songs About Your Girlfriend," and it's a really catchy song. I've been listening to it over and over again. I really like it. So we are going to play that at the end of this episode. So don't turn it off when we say goodbye to Frederick, because you're going to want to hear this song. It's really great. And I will put all of their information in the description as well. So thank you to everyone who has been watching us. We really appreciate it. And we can't wait to do more of these. We've got a lot of SJC artists especially lined up because they are a treasure trove of drummers for us to interview, and we are extremely appreciative of them. So, without further ado, here is Fredrik Larzon of Millincolin. Bye. Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. How are you guys?
We are
Doing
good.
well yourself.
Excellent. We
Yeah.
got we got sun today here, and it's
Oh,
not
I
very.
see it. I can I can see it coming in. We
Yeah,
always have sun here in Texas. I don't know about you, Christian. He's in upstate New York.
No, it's just cloudy and about to rain about 24 hours a day this time of year. And then lots of leaves. It's great.
Yeah, see, you guys have really pretty falls. We don't. It's like it's like everything's green and then everything is brown. Like no orange, no yellow, brown.
But
Then the leaves fall off.
yeah, but I live in the very south of Sweden,
Okay.
uh, all the
I-
way almost in Denmark. So two of the guys in my band, they live in Örebro, which is like 5 hours north from me. In Örebro, and I used to live there back in like I moved here like 11 years ago.
Okay.
Uh, and the weather up there is totally different than here today.
Nicer
Yeah.
or worse?
It's worse up
Oh,
there
really?
today. Yeah,
Colder.
colder,
No sun.
colder, and darker.
Ah, that's
My
awful.
wife from another different upstate New York, even further up, it's like almost the Canadian border, and they already have snow.
Oh,
Uh, So it's yeah, it's funny how like just a 3.5 4 hour difference can make such a huge.
and they have snowed until like May, April, May.
But yeah, probably closer to April. I mean, some years it happens in March. It's wild up there. She was supposed to go this weekend, but had to cancel because the weather's supposed to be so bad up there. So
Okay.
um, yeah,
Wow.
so I'm not going to complain too much about here right now. At least I can take the dog for a walk and not freeze. So we're good. But this is not about us. This is not about the weather. This is about you, my friend.
Yeah.
It is about the weather,
All right, I guess we're
especially
doing
when
a
we're
weather
so far
podcast.
apart. No.
Okay, okay. I have a little anecdote with the weather
Okay.
from back when we did a tour. I think maybe the tour with Good Riddance and Down by Law or something. We rented this van in Los Angeles and we were out there for a long time and drove up to way up in Canada and stuff. And we had the tires for California, not for the weather up there.
Oh man.
So we almost got run over by a large truck up there.
By
We
a big
ended up in
18
the
wheeler.
ditch. Yeah,
I've been in that same situation before and it's not fun. I was in the Rocky Mountains and we didn't have snow chain or the chains on our tires. We couldn't go anywhere. We were stuck.
yeah. Hey, let me try a different pair of headphones because
Yeah.
I can barely hear you.
Okay. You're coming through just fine on my end.
Good over here as well.
Sweet.
Okay, there we go.
Better?
A little better now.
Yeah,
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. So yeah, I've been a big fan of Millencolin and of you for I guess since high school. I'm 45 years old now, so that would have been 96, 97, 98. Um,
from the beginning. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, big influence on my drumming. Of course, like Bill and you and Yuri and Smelly were all big influences, but you were in there with those guys for me. And it's really cool
thank
to
you very
talk to you
much.
today. And it was really cool to meet you in Belgium back in
Yeah,
August. I guess that was early August. We played Brack Rock together.
correct. Was a
It,
good night.
it was a good night. And I
Yeah,
apologize for not being at your show. I was so exhausted. I couldn't
yeah,
even
I understand.
function.
That's fine. That's fine. We're
Yeah.
going to the States in a year or something, so you can catch
Is,
up there
is,
maybe.
is that official?
No, but the plan is to go there.
Okay, good, good. We hope to
Yeah,
both see you at a show. Hopefully you come through Texas. I'll certainly
yeah, I'd
travel if
love
I
to.
have to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll do some shows soon. It's time. It's been way too long.
Yeah, I think Millencolin will be very well received here. Some bands, if they are gone too long, people can forget about you. But it's just there's like this perfect little gray area where it just hits just right, and
Yeah.
people freak out when you come back. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, we'll see what happens.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. So the album I mostly got into, and whenever I first got into Millencolin was for Monkeys. And I probably have more questions about that album. I don't know what Christian has.
Well,
Um,
I got in on Life on Plate
yeah.
was my entry. But I guess I mean I'd like to ask, I don't know, how true this is, but was the band together for a little while before you actually joined, just as like the instrumental and vocalist writing, and then you came in a little bit later?
Yeah. Uh, let's see. They started the band October 92, and they did the first show just before the new year there. I did the sound for them because I put up the show and I did the sound for them because the sound tech got way too drunk and disappeared. So I had to jump in there and do that. And we all knew each other from different bands before. And my band was kind of uh, on ice. We didn't do much. And I was as big fan of the US punk as the other guys in the band, like Better Legion and NoFX and Pennywise and all those bands, Circle Jerks. So after that show, I think I told them that if you wanna have a second guitarist and need a drummer, I'm available. I really want to do it. And so I joined the band early in 93, after just before recording a second demo tape.
So was one of the other guys playing drums at
And
that point?
Matthias played the drums on the first demo
Oh,
tape.
okay, cool. Yeah,
And
I noticed on the Wikipedia that there wasn't a previous drummer listed, so I figured it was something at that point. So
yeah,
did it when you first started playing, did it kind of just guys hit it off pretty well?
yeah, yeah, uh, yeah, really well. As I said, we knew each other and we knew what we wanted to do and everything. So it was really easy back then.
Yes.
There were so many ideas and just trying out something really brand new for us, playing that type of punk rock. We played the more traditional Swedish punk rock, which is also melodic and sometimes fast, but we had so much energy going into this new thing.
Mm.
At the
Yeah.
same time, there were some other bands like Satanic Surfers and Randy and No Fun at All, and those bands who started to do that type of stuff too.
Right. And so after you joined, that's whenever I guess y'all started writing for Life on a Plate.
Tiny Tunes.
Oh, Tiny Toons, that's right. Because that
Yeah,
was what was 94?
that was 94. And actually, before that, we released a mini CD called In a Room,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and another one, like a cover EP called Scouch.
Are those
And
hard to
then we
find?
went to, uh, they're all on a compilation called Melancholy Collection.
Okay.
Should
Yeah.
be up on the streaming
Yeah. See, back then I didn't
platforms.
know about that unless it was released
Uh,
on, like
yeah, because those didn't come out in the States.
right.
Just like up here and maybe it came out in Canada, but as soon as Burning Heart started to work with Epitaph, and I guess we were the first band to be on Epitaph in the States, they started to put out some Burning Heart stuff too. But the EPs, I don't think they come out in the States.
Okay. Yeah. It was always hard to get a hold of stuff back then. It's much easier now. Everything's
Yeah,
digital and
yeah,
streaming.
yeah. On that cover EP, we played the Descendants song, we played the Operation Ivy song, a Sub Society song, maybe one more song.
That's
Uh, yeah,
that's
it was
awesome.
fun.
Now, I wanted to ask actually about that. Was there any legal trouble with Warner Brothers for the name of that album or any of the artwork?
Yeah, major problems.
Yeah.
We knew we had to stop the press and come up with a new title and kind of a new artwork for the album too. So, and it was a lot of costs for Burning Heart on that one.
Mm.
I remember hearing that back in the day, but obviously before before
It's
the
not
internet was
strange.
before the
It,
internet was as accessible as it was now, it was a lot of
yeah,
huge
yeah.
rumors. So that's
But if you look at the cover art, it's maybe little bit too much borrowed from the original artwork. So I can understand it, but we were all young and really angry about those big companies.
well, that's part of punk rock, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so like and correction, I did get into Millencolin Life on a Plate, but Four Monkeys was like the one I liked like the most. I think it was just maybe that year and the age I was at, but I noticed there's a big difference between like not just production but even your drumming. I feel is so much tighter on Four Monkeys, as opposed to Life on a Plate. What changed in that time between those two albums?
Uh, I think inspiration-wise, we as a band moved towards what then was called like the emo stuff. Like for us, emo was bands like Sam I Am
Hmm.
and those type of bands. We took down the tempo a bit. There's still some fast songs, but and we almost skipped the ska part on that album too. We didn't have much ska on that one.
Yeah, I think there's one
Um,
ska song.
um, to be honest, we had little, almost none time to prepare for that album because we toured so much in between Life on a Plate and the recording.
Mhm.
So we pretty much went from tour into the studio, and we were lucky to have Dan Swanö producing the album because he saved us on that one. He helped us out a lot with the arrangements and stuff. We had a lot of parts, but we didn't really have the time before to put it together the way we wanted to.
Is this the same
And
Dan that's mentioned in Puzzle, the song Puzzle?
uh, I don't
I
remember.
think there's a I
That's
think there's a
pro
Dan mentioned as engineer, I
Yeah,
think, in that song.
there's a few Dan we know.
Okay.
It might be in another one, but I'm not sure.
Okay. And I
I'm
may
not
have the
sure.
name wrong too. I'm just going back
Uh,
memory.
yeah, yeah. We were kind of moody back at the time we started recording that album. It felt like we didn't really know exactly what we wanted to do. It all came clearer on the next one, Pennybridge Pioneers.
Mm.
Uh, but somehow at that time the change started towards something that felt like our own sound,
Yeah.
not just trying to sound like our favorite bands.
Right. Well, I always thought your guitar tone and just kind of general feel felt different to me from the beginning, or at least from Life on a Play. It didn't feel like all the other bands I was listening to. So I think you guys achieved that way before you realized it. But maybe since it's your own music, maybe you're just too close to it, you know? But
Yeah, maybe it's because we're from Sweden too, and not
could
from
be.
the States.
It could be. Yeah, and I always wonder, how is it? I wonder how it's different from, punk rock you hear around that same time. I guess would be, I guess you call it like new school or skate punk, versus in Sweden. Like what are the differences in the styles? Like what makes Sweden different than the States?
Uh, I mean, when it comes to the skate punk, skate rock genre, everybody was 150% inspired by the States, and but maybe more political than
Mm,
bands from the States.
right. Was there a big skate community, like skateboarding
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Sweden?
yeah,
Okay.
a lot of US skaters came over and toured Sweden
Oh, okay.
with showcases and stuff. So, and the other three guys in the band, they were skateboarding since like the early teens.
Right. Okay. Okay, cool.
Um, but yeah, there was that type of genre. Like we played No Fun at All, Satanic Surfers, and Randy, and then there there was another part of the scene which was growing as fast as us, uh, the hardcore scene,
Mm,
like the straight edge type of hardcore scene. Refused and all those bands. Uh, but we played the same shows in Sweden. We played together all those shows.
yeah.
That's great that there wasn't a divide between those two things that happens quite often, unfortunately. Everyone's
Yeah,
kind of lumped into that same sound, but it's all, it's
yeah,
all inspired by the same thing.
yeah, we're too small of a country to be able to separate like that. None would turn up at the shows. And then we had like the typical Swedish, if we can say typical, but the punk bands who sang in Swedish, either they played like the Discharge type of punk rock, the super hard punk rock, or even more melodic than the US type of hardcore, and sang in Swedish, which was it was huge back in '95
I'm a
too.
I'm a I'm a deep diver. What are some of the bands? Do you remember?
Dia Salma, uh, Strebers, Astakask,
I've heard of them. Yeah.
yeah, bands like them. Uh, I mean, some of those bands they turned up on the top charts at that time.
That's
It
wild.
was
I mean,
so
you
big.
guys have and had a pretty great metal scene as well.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah. Yep. Not
yeah. That's kind of like where I learned my DIY thinking from, like ordering fanzines, trying to make my own fanzine, trade music with other people around the world, and I didn't really care if it was metal or punk or whatever, but it gave me uh, the feeling that if you want something to happen, you got to do it yourself. You gotta you can't just wait for someone to do stuff for your band or for your fanzine or something. If you take charge of that by yourself, then it's
right.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it's still to this day I do my record company in that way. So yeah,
Yeah, you're right. And it still holds true today. I have to be reminded of that, even like things that I do. I train dogs, I'm a photographer,
yeah,
and I realize that I'm not going to get business sitting at home, posting on
yeah,
Facebook. I got to get out and meet people and hand out flyers. It's still true to this day. It still works, and I think people still appreciate that kind of, you know, I guess
yeah,
sentiment.
yeah,
Do it yourself. Get out there and make it happen, you know.
yeah, yeah. I mean, people they need a face of you that okay, you're the one. I like you. You're the one doing this. It's a closer connection
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
than just words on a screen somewhere.
Yeah, and I think, like bands like Millencolin and similar, y'all were very accessible too to people, and so I think people picked up on that. There's bands that are you'll never meet that person. They're too big. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
think that's why a lot of punk rock bands are very successful and had a lot of fans is because you were with them and you hung out with them and you did things with them and I think that's what something's really cool about the punk rock scene.
definitely,
I love it.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Back to the drumming.
Yeah. So, do you remember? I kind of wanted to. I know
So
you.
I just want to add. I don't know if you know, but we recorded the three first albums with Dan Swanner.
Okay. Okay.
Um, actually, and the EPs before too. So he knew us very, very, very well.
Okay.
Um, that's, I guess, how he knew how to help us on Four Monkeys to
Yeah.
get it together as an album.
So you think Penny Bridge Pioneers was the album that defined Millencolin?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
That's funny. To me, it was the first two albums, and then I felt like Penny Bridge was different. It felt different to me when I first heard it. It was good, obviously, but it sounded a little more polished, and
yeah.
um, and the
A
drums
bit.
sounded really, really good on that album, especially.
Yeah, it was a full. It sounded full. I think is a good way to like everything was there, very present. What was out of that record, if you had to pick a couple of your favorite tracks, what would they be
From which one?
from Pioneers?
Ah, No Cigar, um, Penguins and Polar Bears.
Mm.
Uh,
You're like, let me look at the
yeah,
track listing.
I mean,
yeah,
technically two is a couple, so
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But they're kind of similar drumming wise. So I just wanted to give you something else.
Well,
I
I did
mean,
actually wanted to ask about the intro to No Cigar.
yeah,
Because I talk about this a lot, or I think about it a lot, is that 90s, especially that sort of whatever you want to call it, the skate punk, it had a very distinct snare drum sound throughout most of it. And I'm willing to bet that came from most of the recordings were only miking the top of the snare drum. Everyone wanted that kind of poppier, not a lot of a wire sound. And I remember hearing that little drum roll intro to No Cigar, and you can actually hear the wires reverberating. And I think that was around the time period when people figured out how much better snare drum sounded when you mic'd the top
yeah, yeah.
and the bottom. What I wanted to ask is that are those doubles or are those single rolls?
Uh, uh,
Like, are
you
you
you need to
bouncing? Are you
explain.
bouncing the stick to do those,
Yeah,
or is it just?
yeah. It's like
Yeah,
take it, take it, take it, take it, take it,
yeah.
take it.
That's
Okay,
what I
so it is a
see.
little bit.
That's what I see people do when I see. There's lots of covers of that song.
Yeah, yeah. So we recorded that one in Hollywood
Oh,
with Brett Gurwitz.
okay, yeah,
So after Four Monkeys and the touring on that one, we pretty much almost, yeah, we said that we split, we'd take some time off, or someone in the band wanted to split up the band. And then after a while, we kind of felt like we wanted to go back playing together, but we didn't know what to do. And then out of the blue came Brett Gurwitz telling us that you guys need to record a new album over at my place
mm,
in my studio. And that was like a dream come true for us I mean, first we get signed to Epitaph, and then the Bad Religion genius
right.
wants to record us in the legendary studio, which our favorite bands recorded, like
Hmm.
Bad
Yeah.
Religion, Pennywise, all those, NoFX, Rancid. So there was like you can't say no to that.
Yeah. You became part of the family.
Yeah, yeah. It was so that's that's a thing that changed the sound a lot, of course,
So
moving to a new studio.
yeah, so just a change in environment can can affect an album,
Yeah,
can affect the sound.
yeah. And the recording technique they had
Hmm.
compared to Dan Swana did one hell of a job. Uh, and I mean, most of the people we involved in recording have done a great job.
Yeah.
And of course, a new studio, new equipment, different drums, different mics will change the sound. And
Sure.
I was
I
actually
think,
just
yeah,
about to ask if you brought your drums or just used what was there.
I used what they had.
Do you remember what it was by any chance, or
Not a clue.
not a clue? Fair. That's fair. I just thought
You kind
Yeah,
I'm not.
yeah. I could have prepared a little better because we
No,
have a lot filmed from the studio, which we
oh,
put out somewhere on. Maybe I think we added it to the Melancholic Connection.
I'm not a gear nerd, just more of a curious person. You
Yeah,
know.
we tried a few different snares. I think we changed snare too on some songs.
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah, that no cigar, it sounds like to me it sounds like it's kind of fat, but like the snares were almost loose on it, to make it more buzzy sounding. Because I noticed in your albums you do a lot of snare rolls like that,
yeah,
like longer, like the song 22.
yeah.
You start out doing that, and of course, for cigars is, I mean, I'm sorry, for cigars, um,
No
uh,
cigar. Yeah,
no cigar is the pace is quicker, but it's still a long roll, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I think it's what, like 16 counts or something, but you do that a lot. I noticed, and I think that's really cool. I think that kind of sets you apart from a lot of the
Ooh,
drummers out there.
yeah. Um, Sometimes uh, you want to find some other ideas, and Matthias is as interested as and like me
Hmm.
in drumming
Right.
and creating drum parts still. I mean, he's a drum nerd, maybe more than me. He listens to drummers more than me, but he has a lot of ideas. I don't know who came up with the no cigar one, but the 22 was probably just we don't want to go straight into a beat. We want to do something else with the guitar before
Yeah.
the song starts and just build it up a bit.
Yeah,
A
because
little.
it kind of has that chugging kind of
Yeah,
part at the beginning. I think there's bells in the background. It sounds kind of almost kind of metal to me.
yeah. It's fun to go back to those albums and do. I mean, last 2 years ago we did Same Old Tunes in Canada, the whole album, and it's weird going back 30 years and play some of those songs.
Yeah.
I could
I mean,
imagine.
I don't even play like that anymore, like I did on those albums. I think I even had another. I think I had a double pedal on the first album. Not that I used it for the fast drum beats,
Hmm.
but some of the fills and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, it's different, and yeah,
And that's
it's fun.
certainly something I wanted to talk to you about because I went through that too recently with one of my bands. We played a show in Ohio, and I wrote all these songs in my early 20s, and I'm trying to play them, at 45, and I'm dying up there. So yeah, I was wondering if you altered your live the way you play your parts live than the studio. Do you try to stay as true, or do you have to kind of like work around, being older?
Uh, I think I just aim for playing it better than I did
Yeah.
back then, because I know I was pretty fucking sloppy in the beginning. So I always try to make it sound better, especially those old songs. Uh, with the later albums, I try to play as the albums more.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of we come to a point where we realize that, I might be playing this song, 20 years from now, so I need to make sure I can play it live. I think we
Yeah, and sometimes it's not best for the song to
yeah,
like we like those fast songs in the beginning. We really wanted to do the fastest we could.
right.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
We need to have a third of the songs super fast, a third of the songs being ska songs, and a third of the songs being like poppy, more poppy songs.
So there was a formula.
Uh, yeah, those first three albums, and then
Mm.
we skipped that. And some of those songs, all of us feels that it's not necessarily better to play it super fast and maybe slow down just a little bit
Yeah.
to make it sound tighter and
But that
been
was
easier
the
for Nicola to
thing.
sing. And yeah,
That was
of
what
course.
kids wanted. It was that fast skate
Yeah.
punk.
Yeah, yeah. When I tried, when I went to join the band, my aim was like, I'm going to show these fuckers how to play fast. So I brought this big can of wine, homemade wine, and we went to the rehearsal space for 3 or 4 hours, and I took their songs and played them super fast, too fast.
That's so funny. Yeah. Like your kick patterns are so fast on, Life on a Plate and from Monkeys. Like, I'm trying to think like that song Trendy Winds.
Yeah,
That is so fast.
on that particular one, I played it more like smelly, like dupa dupa
Yeah,
dupa dupa. And usually I played it dupa dupa da dupa dupa da, you
right,
know, because that's how I learned play fast, like the what they call the D beat.
right.
Which
Uh,
is,
Yes.
I could see how that could be a thing for you in Sweden. A lot of D
yeah,
beat. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and we thought it suited the riffs better too. Uh,
Yeah,
we,
I
we
Every beat has its place, right? Its time and
yeah,
its place.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I remember trying to replicate that as a 17-year-old, and I was like, that's way too fast. You know,
Yeah, it's probably way too fast for me nowadays too. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do when going to back to those songs again.
and I always appreciated, especially that album, your kick was like very
Yeah,
clicky sounding. And so it's like I could hear everything you did. It wasn't muddied up by anything else. So I knew exactly what beats you were playing. So it made it easier for me to learn, but it was still too hard for me to play.
Was there a silver dollar taped to the kick drum head? That was the trick,
uh,
right?
I've heard of that.
some people talked about it about the Metallica click
On For
putting a
Monkeys.
no, but Dan Swanö, he recorded a lot of metal too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
Big bands like Opeth and Dissection and he, bands that became huge in the death metal scene and thrash metal scene and stuff.
Killer.
So he was kind of working a big area of different genres,
mm,
and maybe the kick sound got adapted from his ideas from working with other more metallic bands
And well, I
than
mean, I
us.
think with anything faster, you kind of need less low end on it. You need it to stand out, or else it just kind of falls in, and it almost gets to a point of like, what's the point of playing such busy patterns if they're just going to get muddied up in the mix with the bass? So it's probably the best option to add a little bit of that like mid range to it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Or you take away the bass
Yeah.
totally, like some band did.
Oh yeah. Speaking of
Uh,
Metallica.
yeah. No, but
They should have taken away the drums, but
or maybe we had some kind of reference that we wanted to. I don't know what we had like in that. We always brought the Bad Religion albums, like Against the Grain and those
Mhm.
albums, Lagwagon. Yeah, I don't know. We probably wanted it, I mean, the listener to hear what was going on and that
Yeah.
we could play that fast.
Well, you certainly did, but then it seemed like it slowed down on Penny Bridge because I don't think you have any of those real fast paced
No,
songs after that. There are some albums after that I didn't really hear. I think you kind of you start listening to different things and then you discover one of your favorite bands put out two more albums. um did you get back into that on any of the other albums? I'm getting into to SOS um lately, but I don't remember hearing anything like that fast like you did on For Monkeys or Life on a Plate.
we came back to like the fast ones on SOS, if you
Uh-huh.
want to call them fast. It's not very fast, but
Right.
a fast song can be fast without the that drum beat too.
Sure.
Uh,
That is
uh,
true. Is there a trick to make a song appear faster than it really is, drum wise, or is it more with the guitars?
uh, certainly with guitars, but if you want to add the same pace on the hi-hat or ride, it's fast.
Yeah.
If you do it like consider the like a slower song, but if you have this fast, that's fast too.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. I think you need the vocals to be fast as
Mhm.
well. You can't just. You need to have a lot of lyrics and rabble fast.
Yeah, and I think
It makes the song sounds a lot more faster in the end. I know too many bands who have super fast drums, but the vocals feels like it's half tempo,
yeah, yeah. That's
and then
interesting.
it's then it's not necessary.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know there's all sorts of tricks that you learn along the way to kind of compensate for maybe if you can't play as fast or if you just don't want to play as fast, you can make a song sound faster than it really is, like you were saying.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's cool.
I can be honest. I think none of us in the band wanted to play those super fast songs uh, back after like at that period of time of like in the beginning, the first 10 years of 2000s. Uh,
Hmm.
we focused more on maybe some more on the slower, not slow songs,
Yeah,
but
mid-tempo.
mid tempo uh, melodies, hooks, that type of stuff.
Mm.
but
Heaviness.
you had to play Boolean though, right? Everyone get mad if you didn't play it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that some people want to hear those songs too, but yeah, we try to add some of those. We always play some of them live, like Olympic and Mr. Clean, and those have been since we released the
Oh yeah, Mr. Clean, that's right.
Bullion, Olympic, Mr. Clean. Those songs we played since we released those songs,
Yeah.
probably like 1,500 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny is
And I love them. I love them. It's not a problem. I love playing those songs. But
I always love the is a song called Material Boy?
yeah,
Is the name like the different I don't know how to say it. It had so many different levels of, some parts were aggressive, some parts were a little bit more laid back and melodic. And then when it comes in that, that now I'm shopping and it like it almost turns metal for like
yeah,
a quick second and then goes back to it. And that always impressed me. Not just with your drummer, but your drumming, but the whole band is the ability to have that many different feelings of dynamics within, one track was always pretty impressive, which I think that pulled me towards that always being one of my favorite songs. And yeah, I grew up a pretty like aggressive punk and a lot of like heavy metal and stuff too. So maybe that was a
yeah,
part of it for me. But I always loved the way that track was broken up and those pauses and the kick patterns kind of falling in when the guitar wasn't there was a good way to balance those parts out. So
yeah.
not so much a question as a compliment. So good
Thank you
for
very much. We
good
still
work.
play we still play that song once in a while, quite often actually. I like that song too.
That
And
was a great
we
track.
came up with that song when we had refused as a support in Europe.
Were
So
they shopping
that's
a little bit?
no, but they were metallic.
Okay. I was like, oh no, were you making fun of the review?
They weren't shopping, but there's a lot of influences from different kinds of music all the way for us.
Yeah. So like whenever you're writing music, are you writing most of the drum parts or are you getting information from the rest of the guys too, or is it mostly like you hear a riff or a vocal line and write around that, or what's your thought process on those?
Actually, these days, Matthias and Nicola are working pretty much most of the ideas for the
Okay.
songs.
Yeah.
And when they record it, because Matthias is a good studio technician,
Hmm.
so when he records it, he makes like a demo instantly of the song with
Right.
drums and everything. And then it I mean, kind of a early version for me to listen to and come up with my ideas. And then me and Matthias are talking. So he's my helping hand with a with a come up with some of the stuff, and some of the stuff I come up with. Uh, and he's always with me when I track the drums
Okay, that's good.
uh, with his ideas and his whip. You can do this better.
Mm. Yeah. I think that's important. My band Fire Sale, Chris Swinney and Matt Riddle write most of the songs. It's very similar to what you're doing. They'll get together and or they'll share ideas and they'll record a song and then I'll get a copy of it with programmed drums. And
Yeah,
it's always funny because there's always when a guitarist is writing drum parts, it's at least in my experience, it's always something that just doesn't really most of it makes sense, but there's like maybe a drum fill or some sort of weird timing thing that just it's almost impossible to
yeah.
play, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to change that and but they're cool and they trust me and they let me write different parts than they wrote, but usually what they give me sounds really good.
I know. It always gave me like anxiety sometimes back in the days because I thought, what the hell how am I going to do this better?
Mm,
But then when you start to record and work on the songs together, it's something else, of
yeah.
course. It's always turns better. So it's just I see it as just a lot of help
Hmm.
for. I mean, we always consider our band like a unit.
Här är
Right.
några
Oh,
sökresultat
sorry.
för just help våra.
That was Siri as on my phone.
Now, did Matthias ever go full Patrick Swayze and ghost on you in the studio and get behind you and sort of guide your guide your arm?
No, but he can be in there and quiet some of the symbols when I don't have like 3 or 4 arms to do it at the same time. And he
Oh, that's cool.
wants to mute something while I'm playing or whatever.
Uh, that must be nice. You know, I have a studio here where I record because fire sales all over the place. And so,
Us too, us too.
yeah, like just like you. And so I record all my stuff on my own. I'm running back and forth hitting record and then I'm doing my punch ins and all that stuff by myself. And it is a little frustrating. And I wish I had someone like that to crack the whip at me, you know?
Yeah,
But I think so we haven't recorded a full length yet, and that's the next thing we're doing. And I think we're trying to get into the blasting room. So I'm hoping Bill is our guy, and I hope he cracks the whip on me, you know?
yeah, yeah.
I think I need that.
Have you been there before?
I went, my wife and daughter and I went last year. Fire Sale played in Denver, and we drove up to the blasting room, and Bill gave us a tour,
Cool.
and that was a really cool experience.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Yeah, but as you said, it's a privilege to have your own studio.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. You have all the time in the world. Uh, Maybe sometimes you have too much time to work on stuff. But we have our own studio up in our Örebro, which Matthias started with another guy back in the 90s, a guy called Mieszko. The guy played in a grindcore band called Nasum,
Hmm.
uh, famous grindcore band up there with
Yep.
Napalm Death and all those bands. Uh, and then he passed in the tsunami in Thailand. Then we
Mm.
took over the studio to bought his part out for his family. So we still have that studio, and we recorded the last couple of albums up there, and I think it's the best. I love it. And then we bring in someone else to mix it
Yeah.
afterwards.
I
It's always
mean,
good to let someone else get an ear on it, and when
Yeah,
it's your creation like that, I definitely think you can get a little too. I know whenever I record, I definitely tend to just because I'm a drummer and used to being stuffed in the back. I always put the drums in the mix too loud, so someone else he has
yeah.
to pull them back a little bit. But it's like I don't know. You want to be seen and heard a little bit. There's nothing
yeah,
wrong with
yeah.
it.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, it is great having your own studio, but you know, I found myself also putting things off because I have my own studio. It's like, oh, I can do it, you know, and like Dave Smalley hit me up. Well, I joined Down by Law a couple years ago, and we recorded
Hey,
an album.
Matt, I'm sorry to interrupt. The dog's going crazy upstairs. I'm just
Okay,
going to
yeah,
excuse
you're good.
myself real quick and see
You're
what she's
good.
barking at.
And we recorded an album, and everything was remote. And so when I listened back to it, I didn't have a whole lot of input, you know, and I'm like, man, I really wish I would have not hit a cymbal there, or I wish maybe I did this fill because I only had a guitar and a click to
Yeah,
record to. I didn't have any other information. And I feel like it turned out good, but there's so many things that I wish I would have done differently if I would have heard a vocal melody or something like that. Is there any Millencolin songs that you kind of wish that you may have done something a little different? Like listen back later and gone, oh man, I should have done that fill, or maybe I should have stopped here or something like that.
um, I don't know. I mean, all the recordings they had their time there,
Yeah,
and I think they should be as they came out.
sure, sure,
I have nothing, no regrets about any of the stuff I recorded with Millencolin.
good.
Uh,
I
yeah, I had a really tough time recording the Penny Ridge Pioneers album in the States, because I was really stressed out by the time and the money going into to staying in the States for I don't know, 6 weeks maybe, and renting the studio and everything. And you, as a drummer, you always have the pressure you need to finish your stuff
Right.
before anyone else can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that stressed me out a bit. But the other guys were so laid back, but I got so stressed out, so I couldn't play the fast beats anymore on that one. I got anxiety attacks at that time. It was super hard. Somehow I struggled to get those last tracks together, last couple of days we had before putting guitars and bass and all that stuff. But in the end, we had too little time for choruses, backup vocals, and stuff. We wanted more, but we didn't have time enough. So being in our own studio is for me, that's a dream.
Yeah, much more relaxing.
Having my own equipment, yeah, I feel like home in the studio
Do
where
you
we
think,
rehearse too.
do you feel like that anxiety that you were having during Penny Bridge was a good thing or a bad thing? I know anxiety attacks aren't looked upon as a good thing, but did it help you maybe play better, or do you think it made you play not as good? Um, you know, tell me about that. What did it affect you? Like, do you look back and go, man, if I wasn't so anxious, I probably would have played this better or something like that?
Definitely. And I'm not 100% sure it was the pressure from the studio time or the money or something else happening in my life at that point.
Yeah.
Uh, but then at that moment, I'd started to learn about anxiety and
Mm,
depression. So that's a big help.
yeah.
So working on after that, uh, working with you know if you nervousness going on stage and stuff like that. So when I knew what was happening and it was in my head, it was a big relief for
Hmm.
me.
So even just
Uh,
having a name for it sometimes can even help, right?
yeah, because
Knowing.
the the hospital, they had no clue. They said there's nothing wrong with you. Just go home and take it easy.
Oh, so you went to the hospital
Nowadays, that yeah.
when you were
Was
in the
that
Nowadays,
States?
Yeah, that doesn't
no,
surprise.
no, in
Oh,
Sweden, in
I
Sweden.
was gonna say
Oh.
that sounds like a very American hospital experience. How's your insurance? Get the fuck out of here.
No,
Yeah.
back in Sweden.
Well, and people don't really think about that. I mean, how would people know what certain musicians are going through during an album? And that's really cool to hear about that, because in my brain, you're confident, you go in there and you nail it, you put out an album, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think back on times when I record, and yeah, even though everything I've pretty much done has been like either in a friend's studio or my studio, I still was nervous, and you still have to, I mean, you're the beat. You got to hold it down.
yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, and then like if you tear down and realize something's wrong, it's like you can't get the same sound. We don't have
I know.
knobs like guitarists do.
And it's I mean it's not very fun to realize that like you could have done the first half of the album so much better if you were mentally ready
Hmm.
from the start.
Yeah.
Because once you're into it and tracked some of the songs, you start playing better, more focused, and you're more happy as a person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, I can definitely attest to the anxiety thing and the comfort of studios. It never ended up going anywhere, but I did some drums for a project and I recorded them at Little Eden in New Jersey with Pete Steinkoff from Bouncing Souls. And,
Oh, cool.
I was
Great guy.
upstairs and he's downstairs in the control room. I don't know if you've ever seen that studio. And I don't know Pete super well, but I mean, I would consider him, he's a bud. And all I could picture was him downstairs, like putting his hand over his face, just shaking his head, just being like, "What the fuck?" It's just because I hadn't done it in a while, but and then doing other things with like good friends, close friends in studios I've been before. It's definitely it takes a lot of the pressure off. But I think playing drums in front of someone whose music I grew up listening to was a little fucking terrifying as well. So
I know.
kind of glad that never saw the light of day. Yeah, so not the worst thing. I did want to ask, man, when were the first couple albums? I've always been really interested in playing to like click tracks and stuff like that, and in that progression of like, was Penny Bridge where you guys first started kind of introducing the click track?
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can usually tell. It's kind
Hmm.
of funny how like that progression goes. Was that a tough adjustment for you?
No, it was more of a relief, I'd say. Uh, it felt easier to keep the beat without going too fast or too slow. So, and I had no problem having the click track in my ears. And usually I keep just one guitar
Okay.
and the drums and the click. I don't want too much in my headphones when I'm recording.
Yep, I hear you. Now, are you a rudiment player?
What does that mean?
Like, do you practice all your patterns, your rudiments, your drum rudiments, or you're just a slugger?
I'm more of a slugger.
That's nothing wrong with that. I'm all right
That's
with it. I
me.
didn't I didn't I didn't start getting into that stuff until about a year ago. And I as much as I love it and I love the challenge, it's frustrating and
Yeah,
aggravating. I just
yeah,
like to keep myself busy, keep my brain going.
yeah.
Um,
I don't have a proper rehearsal space down here in Malmö. I have a Millincolin office where I run the web shop, and if I put away all the merchandise, I can put up my electronic kit and play. I do that sometimes, uh, mostly before a tour or before studio. Then I practice a lot on those.
Yeah.
I
I would,
I really don't like the
great tool to
electronic
have.
drums, but
yeah, I was always
it's
insecure
better than
about that.
nothing.
Yeah, I was always insecure that I didn't know rudiments and all that stuff. You know, I would see these other drummers just sitting there practicing and doing these cool things, and I'm like, I just hit them, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I-
I just
if
hit the
I'm being
drums.
honest, the only reason that I got into them was to save energy.
Mm,
As far as like doing really fast drum rolls, if you're doing double strokes instead of doing single strokes, it definitely it I don't know. For me personally, it saves a bit of energy, and
it's
as I
certainly
get
important.
older, that's oh, yeah, right. That plays a pretty large part in all of it. Which I guess in the smoothest transition in here in history. If you would like to tell our listener a little bit, sorry, um, when you tracked Bouillon, um, I'm assuming it wasn't just one take, right? The drum fills in there, were those just something that kind of came to you in the studio, or was that practiced a lot and worked out, or did it just kind of happen organically?
The recording is exactly how we rehearsed the song before going to the studio.
Okay.
So we just tried to nail it as fast as possible. Uh, Remember, those two first albums were recorded in a cellar, like an hour and a half from Örebro. Dark, small, just one small room, maybe 40 square meters type of room, no windows, nothing.
Mm,
And the drums were packed in like a wardrobe with a door. and they're doing things. So so and I mean, as soon as we started to record, the song is tracked in one take. We did many takes, or a couple of takes. I don't remember how many takes, but it was analog and all that stuff. So we couldn't cut and paste anything back then.
Right.
Now
Was it live? Oh, sorry. Was it live or
no,
tracked?
Sorry,
Was it live or did y'all track it?
I did the drums with one guitar, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, Christian.
no, that was the question I was going to ask,
Oh,
Phil. Yep, you could. That was my next. That was where I was going anyway. So,
it
um,
I was just gonna ask, is that how you prefer to record, is to do it more live like that? Uh, are you recording to a live guitar or is it a previously recorded guitar that you're playing to?
On SOS, I played to a previous recorded guitar.
Okay, but before that,
Uh,
it was hashed out together.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of bands prefer
Uh,
that.
yeah. Uh, Another different recording was the Home From Home album. We had a guy called Lou Giordano from, I think he lives outside of New York. Uh, he did a lot of hardcore stuff back in the day.
yep.
And he did a Sam I Am album and Husker Du
Mm.
and stuff that influenced us a lot. He came over to Sweden. He landed the same day as the 9/11,
Ah,
um, the 9/11 terror attack. So we left him at the at the hotel in Örebro, and then all hell broke loose. And then yeah, but when we got to the studio, he put aside everything. He called his family; they're all good, and then we started to record. And he put the click track in different tempos on most of the songs. It's like the verse in certain tempo, and then maybe brought up the tempo a little bit in
hmm.
the choruses and changed that. That was kind of a new experience for me.
That's what Bill Stevenson
Trying
does
to,
too.
yeah,
Well,
okay.
but keeps that feel. I don't know. I've always thought, I completely understand why bands play click tracks. I get it. I've always just loved, those just raw recordings and a song maybe ending just a little bit faster than it was when it started, because that's typically how you're going to hear the music live, right?
Yeah.
But that's actually really cool that he did it that way. It must have been a bit of a mind fuck for you to try to like keep
Yeah,
up with it.
because I mean you end up like hunting the click track sometimes.
Yeah, it can certainly make it more robotic feel if you don't adjust some of those tempos. And sometimes bands or drummers will kind of deviate from the click just a little bit, just naturally, and then they'll get right back on, maybe back in the verse or something like that. Some people can do that. I don't think I can do that. If I'm hearing a click, it's like I gotta stay right on it. But I do like the feel of a song progressively getting a little quicker in BPM,
Yeah.
at least in the
Yeah.
choruses and maybe coming down. It just feels more natural to me.
You just need to like do a drum roll in your head of the beat.
Yeah.
That's what it's like for me.
Yeah.
I need to hold the drum rolls to not get ahead of the click
Hmm.
track.
Yeah. But
But
recording
you,
without a
when you
click.
get used to it.
Yeah.
I don't practice with it, but then when you start to record, you get used to it so fast.
Hmm.
Or at least me. Did you play live with click track?
Do I, when I record, do I use a
No,
click?
no.
Oh, live?
On live shows.
No, never.
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 I tried.
How'd it go?
All I mean, it's fine if it works, but all these times, because we did like a 20-year anniversary back in our hometown, We played two different sets, 2 nights.
I think I saw footage from that.
We played like 50 songs, and we wanted to play sync to videos on the screen behind
Oh yeah.
us. So the performing parts in the screen would match with the live show. But in the middle of every of those songs, the click track disappeared. And then when you start to think about it, am I at the same tempo now? Or where, I mean, how bad is it compared to the screen?
Oh, that's got to be rough.
Yeah, yeah. After, I mean, I laugh at it these days, but you know,
Was that the
it's
only time you tried playing live? Have you tried it at just a regular
a
Millencolin show?
song, a song here and there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning behind that if it wasn't for like TV?
It's always been to sync with the screen.
Oh, okay. It's never been, hey, you play this too
With
fast.
no, it's because we wanted to play sync to
Gotcha.
videos
Okay,
and
okay.
one of our official videos we released.
I mean, I'll look back on some of my performances. I'm like, how am I playing it that fast? It doesn't feel like it in the moment when you're playing, and then you watch it back and you're way above the recorded tempo, which is, I mean, being above the recorded tempo is a normal thing. But man, sometimes I'm just like, how on earth did I play it that fast
Yeah, actually,
and
let's
not
cut to a
realize
clip.
it? Huh?
Let's cut to a clip. You got nothing ready?
Yeah,
Okay, whatever, dude. Jesus.
we just played a show. We just played a show in Ohio with my other band, 41 Gorgeous Blocks, and I played way too fast. So I may have to cut to a clip of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to say that.
It was
When
insane.
I just recently did something a while ago with an old band that got together for like an anniversary thing, and a lot of us, some of the guys are 10 plus years older than me, and in my mid 40s. So we knew we couldn't play live to a click, so we practiced everything 10, 15 BPM slower, knowing that we were going to speed it up at the show. So once we got to the show and played it and sped it up, we were playing it at the actual tempo it was supposed to be,
Okay.
which I can't, it worked. I was very surprised that it actually pulled it off. But, you were just talking about playing the clicks to sync up the videos, which was a question I wanted to ask. I know you guys don't have like a ton, but out of all the music videos that you did, do you have a favorite or maybe one that was like the most fun to make?
Penguins and polar bears.
Yeah.
That was fun. I'm amazed that we never did a video for No Cigar. That's one of
Yeah.
our biggest questions for us when we talk about since that song went so big with the Tony Hawk game and everything. We
Mm.
should have done a video for that song.
Who's Tony?
But
Who's Tony Hawk?
Tony Hawk,
I'm just kidding. Never heard of him.
sorry.
No, he's just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah. But Penrich was Penguins and Polar Bears. That was fun. We recorded that one in around Los Angeles, and we it's supposed to be the four elements. So I'm the wind, and someone is fire, and you know. And we went downtown in Los Angeles, and this was like the early 2000s, late 90s, and went up this building on the roof, and then they wanted to shoot when I ran across the roof and then down the fire stairs. So there was no security strings attached or anything, and they just come on, come on. And out of the windows came all these weird persons who I don't know if they occupied the building or whatever, asking for cigarettes and stuff when I ran through it. And yeah, recording the other clips, the police turned up and asked for, do you have permission for this? Blah 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 blah. But it turned out really good. It looks good. I don't think many people understand what it's about, but it looks good, and it's a nice video for that song.
Which song was this again?
Penguins and Polar Bears.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen like an official Millencolin music video. And if I did, it was back in the early 2000s and I just haven't seen it again. But I'm sure I can find everything on YouTube now.
Yeah, yeah, you
I can
can.
I can
Everything
hear
is on YouTube.
I can hear the song, but I can't think of the title the title of the song. The video where you guys were the robots.
That's camp.
That's Kemp. Now, when they ripped your body apart to turn you guys into robots, how did they put you back together afterwards?
Um, I think it had
Sorry.
something to do with Elon Musk or
But that was I remember
uh,
that video. All kidding aside, when it came out, I just thought that was such a cool fucking video. The way they synced, the snare hits up were they're pretty spot on
yeah, yeah.
with what the robots were doing. I wonder. I'm not asking you this, but I like you would know, but I wonder how much it cost back then to do an animated video like that. If it was crazy or if it was, you know,
I'd say a video like that was probably like $20,000
Mm.
these
jeez,
days. Yeah.
wow. That was a great video. That was a great. I mean, I always loved Fox was a good video too, but you weren't the one riding the scooter, so you were in no danger.
No, I think I was the hillbilly in the truck.
That's right.
I know what I'm doing after this interview. I'm going to go watch every one of your videos.
Yeah,
I'm sure I've seen some of them. I just can't remember them because it's been forever. It's
yeah,
been
yeah.
so long. But yeah, so I wanted to ask you too, before we wrap up, what are you playing now? What's your drum kit currently?
I play an SJC drum kit,
Okay. We love
which
SJC.
yeah,
They're a
me
sponsor
too.
of our podcast.
Yeah, so they contacted me and wanted to hook me up with a drum kit, and I got to design the whole thing myself
Mm.
together with them, and I'm forever thankful for that because they turned out killer.
Wh-
And
What
then
what are the specs and like what does it look like?
it looks like kind of like an old Gretsch type of grayish pearl kind of. I don't know really how to describe it. I can send you a picture.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
please.
maybe we could
You
put
can
it. We
compare.
could put it in the episode description there.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
and for that I mostly use a Ludwig snare,
Hmm.
uh, super light, and now I'm going to use the one you helped me out with.
Yeah, I was
Because
I
you
was
got me this 14 by 6.5, and I always played 14 by 5.
yeah.
And maybe the other one is 14 by 5.5. I'm not sure, but this I'm looking forward to try this one.
I know I was hoping that it would be on an album in the future and I could say that I had that snare drum in my hands in my
Yeah,
studio and I played it.
I'm pretty sure it will end up on an album too, because
You have to let me
uh,
know.
yeah, yeah, of course,
Yeah, that's got to be cool to be approached by a major drum company
yeah,
and
totally,
to ask what you want.
yeah. I couldn't really believe it when, when they got in touch, but I'm stoked, and I met the guys and super nice people, so I'm happy. I'm really happy. And I play Vincent drumsticks,
Hmm.
Swedish brand. I think they're the best I've tried so far.
They're called
So I
Vincent.
keep, yeah.
Vincent. Okay.
I
What?
think I have. What? Wait
Yeah,
a minute. I have it.
sure.
So they look like this.
Okay. Oh, with a W. Yeah. Oh, cool. You've got your own signature and everything. Are they oak or hickory?
They're hickory,
Hickory? Okay.
five Bs. and I'm hooked up with Zildjian cymbals.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. I used to have trouble with hickory drumsticks. They would split on me really bad, and they were the Zildjian brand. And then I started playing oak, like ProMark oak,
Okay.
and they wouldn't do that. They would just kind of dent and kind of chip away a little bit, but I could use them so much longer. But then I started using London Drumstick Company sticks. It's these right here, and they don't
Yeah.
split. These are hickory, and they don't split like they act more like the oak sticks, and so I'm really
Yeah.
happy with these. I was
Yeah, these last forever. I play a whole show with these without a problem.
That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you hit pretty hard. So before we go, my band, we were called Kid Tested back January of 1998. You guys came through with Pulley,
Yeah.
and we played with you guys in Dallas.
That's awesome.
And your snare drum, I've never heard a snare drum as loud as a snare drum you played that night. I don't know what you were playing, but I don't know if it was the drum or if it's just you just hit really hard. And it was a small show. It was a small club, so all of us were just kind of packed in. And I have the whole thing on video too. Like I have a
Okay.
VHS that I digitize. I'll have to send it to you. But I couldn't believe I've never heard a snare that loud in my life. So I guess you just hit really hard.
I do hit kind of hard. Yeah.
Kind of like the
Not,
flats.
not, not, yeah, yeah, yeah. With the rim. Uh, I wouldn't say I'm like hit exceptional hard, but I hit as hard as
Solid.
yeah, I try to keep it the same. Keep the when I play a beat, I try to keep the as hard every time I hit the snare.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's good. I think a lot of engineers like that too when a drummer plays consistently and solid like that. I think it just sounds better, honestly. At least
Yeah,
for
it's
punk
yeah,
rock,
yeah, yeah. I mean, for the engineers, it's totally a a dream to
for
have that.
sure. For sure. Well, we're coming up to an hour and a half. Is there anything else you want to talk about or any upcoming stuff? I know you mentioned a possible Millencolin tour in the
Yeah, we want to
States.
go to this. We want to go there. Uh,
Yeah.
we have talked to some uh, to our booking agent there, and we're going to try to sort something. Not maybe not next year, but maybe 27.
Hmm.
Until then, we have a few other things we're doing. I don't know if any of those are official yet.
Yeah.
So, and we have talked about new stuff, but we haven't decided when
Like
and
a new
if
record.
and what we want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, nice.
there are a lot of ideas and stuff. So we'll see what happens.
I'm
Well,
excited.
make sure you save enough time for backup vocals.
Yeah. Yeah. We have our now now that we have our own studio, we can work forever.
And
That's true.
if you need any of those vocals to be off key, you let me know.
Yeah.
I'll record I'll record them at home and I'll send them
For
to
sure,
you.
man. For sure. Promise that.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, really appreciate your time. It was great getting to ask some of these questions that I've wondered about for a while. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It
Thank you
it
guys.
it looked
It's
like
been
he went from daylight to dark already where he is.
yeah, yeah, that is
So
true.
I feel like we've been talking for way longer than an hour and a half. But yes,
But
thank you so
trust
much.
me, trust me, he does too. He does too.
Yes, thank you so
Thanks,
much for your
guys.
time. I know it's getting late there. And yeah, man, I it was really great talking to you and not just texting. So,
Yeah.
but
Take
anyway,
care and
yeah,
keep in touch.
I will for sure, for sure. And then maybe this is usually what Christian says, but maybe we can have you on again, in the future and see if anything's changed from now
Yeah.
until then.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, awesome.
Well, it was nice meeting you, and thank you so
Yes,
much for your time.
Yeah,
we
thank you
will
very
talk
much.
soon.
Have a good
Yeah,
day.
you
Bye.
too. Bye.